It is late January on the Great Lakes. A smooth, undisturbed layer of white covers the entire landscape. At this time of year, it is difficult to tell where the shore ends and the water begins. On Lake Huron, the ice is usually only 2 feet thick. But the wind can cause the ice to pile up on itself, forming a pressure ridge many times thicker. Shipped goods are imperative for the Great Lakes communities. And ships carrying these goods must make their way through this ice. Detroit alone needs 65,000 tons of fuel oil every day, much of which will be transported by barge. The 290-foot U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mackinaw has been charged with keeping these supply lines open. With her reinforced hull, spoon-shaped bow, and mighty 10,000 horsepower diesel-electric engines, the Mackinaw has been designed for one purpose: ice breaking.
The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mackinaw is a unique, one-of-a-kind icebreaker. It was built in 1944 during the war, and it was built in a response to essentially help move the iron ore that was needed to do the ship construction for the war effort.
As the oldest icebreaker on the Great Lakes, her tenure has made her one of the most famous ships in these waters. In nearly 60 years of service, the Mackinaw has seen many renovations. On the bridge, ornate 1940s original equipment shares space with modern radar and navigation instruments. But what makes her truly remarkable as an icebreaker is her combination of strength and power.
Well, the Mackinaw, like all icebreakers, have special features that allow them to take on the massive forces of the ice. One is the hull form, which most of the ships now have a kind of a spoon bow, and they look sort of like a football cut in half if you were to pull them out of the water.
The unique hull shape allows the ship to ride up on top of an ice sheet, using the weight of the vessel to break through.
Along with that hull form, they also need very thick hull plating where it meets the ice, and they also need a lot of structure behind the plating to reinforce against the ice.
An intricate array of steel girders form the ribs of the Mackinaw. Placed 16 inches apart, they support and reinforce the 2-inch steel hull plating, which is nearly twice the thickness of normal ships. The additional strength comes with a price. The Mackinaw displaces over 5,000 tons fully loaded. Moving a ship this size through the ice requires an enormous amount of power.
On board Mackinaw, there are 3 main engine rooms. This is one of them. It is the heart and soul of the vessel. We have 6 main diesel engines. Fairbanks Morse post piston, and they are coupled to a generator.
The generators provide electricity for both of the 5,000 horsepower propulsion motors, which in turn spin the 2 10.7-ton aft propellers.
The diesel-electric engine has been used on board icebreakers for quite a while, and it's the preferred power plant, primarily because when the propeller goes through the ice, if it hits a large piece, there's a shock down that propeller and it's transmitted back through the shaft.
The propeller shafts are spun by the powerful electric motors, which utilize magnetic fields for propulsion, as opposed to being directly attached to the diesel power plant, which would require additional gears and mechanical linkages, more to damage if a propeller were suddenly jammed in the ice. The Mackinaw has other traits that make her at home in the ice. Onboard tanks and pumps comprise a heel and trim system, In 30 seconds, over 100,000 gallons of water can be pumped from one side of the boat to the other. The rapid shift in ballast causes the over 74-foot wide ship to rock, crushing the surrounding ice. An additional propeller at the bow can also be employed. By churning the water ahead of the vessel, the propeller destabilizes the ice while washing the broken pieces from its path. But the years of ice breaking have taken their toll, and the mighty Mackinaw is beginning to show her age.
Because of her age, it's costing a lot of money to keep the Mackinaw operational, and it also takes a lot of people on board to do the maintenance. Plans right now are to replace this ship with a new icebreaker that'll be multi-mission in nature.
But until a replacement is built, the Mackinaw remains on patrol. As long as there is ice in the water, there is plenty of work to be done.